Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good afternoon. I beg to both panels, Dr. Zainab binti Abdul Rahman and Dr. Rashida binti ELS, and also to my fellow trainee teachers of semester 8. I am Razan Aqilah binti Razali from PSMP TESOL 1 June Intake 2017. Today I am going to present my research report on the perception of IPGKDRI trainee teachers towards ELS activities in improving their speaking skills. As for background of the study, according to Weatherby 2011, ELS can be defined as a group of society members who meet regularly in order to practice speaking, reading and listening. ELS activities are done to make sure that the members can improve themselves, especially in speaking ability and proficiency by ARUM 2018. In IPGKDRI, the advisors of ELS conducted various activities for their members such as debate, role play, dramatization, and speaker's corner. ELS activities promote support and motivation for the trainee teachers to talk confidently in English since it provides them enough time to practice English outside of the class. Besides, according to Ministry of Education 2009, developing communication skills and knowledge are considered as necessary skills for an individual. Therefore, it is important for the trainee teachers to practice speaking proficiently, as it is widely noticed that many of trainee teachers are having difficulties in speaking. The statement of the problems are English language learners find it is difficult to express themselves in spoken language due to shyness, anxiety and lack of motivation by Melvisa, Bahari and Erdiana 2017. So, these problems are actually normal for the language learners as they are not having good communication skills and it is not allows themselves to speak confidently in front of others. And next, the language learners often do not have the opportunities to speak English outside of the classroom, especially for the passive students, by Samira 2014. And speaking is a complex skill which involves an interaction between the speaker and listener in an active process. If the learners or trainee teachers not really trying to speak and choose to be passive, their communication skills cannot be enhanced and improved. Therefore, by having ELS activities, all of the society members will be given the chance and opportunities to try and express themselves. And the advisors of ELS will make sure that all of the trainee teachers will be involved in the activities. There are two main purposes of this study, which are to identify the effectiveness of ELS activities in improving trainee teachers' speaking skills and to find out the perceptions of IPGKDRI trainee teachers toward ELS activities in improving their speaking skills. Next is the research objective. As for this study, there are 4 research objectives. The first one is to identify IPGKDRI trainee teachers' perceptions towards ELS activities in improving their speaking skills. Second, to identify IPGKDRI trainee teachers' improvisation of speaking skills due to ELS activities. Third, to investigate the difference between male and female trainee teachers' perceptions towards ELS activities. Lastly, to find out what are the relationship between ELS activities and improvisation of IPGKDRI trainee teachers' speaking skills. There are 4 research questions for this study. First, what are IPGKDRI trainee teachers' perception toward ELS activities in improving their speaking skills? Second, is there any improvement in speaking skills among IPGKDRI trainee teachers? Third, is there any difference between male and female trainee teachers' perceptions toward ELS activities? And the last one, is there any relationship between ELS activities and the improvisation of IPGKDRI trainee teachers' speaking skills? The significance of the research is to help the advisors of ELS and English department in designing better activities in ELS meetings to improve trainee teachers' performance in speaking. This is because as for this study, it is focuses on 4 main activities which are dramatization, role play, debate and speaker's corner. So, from the study, we can see the teacher trainees' perceptions on each activities. Second, the study aims to provide insights for ELS advisors to reflect on their approaches and teaching styles in enhancing knowledge and skills and also attitude to the trainee teachers throughout the ELS. Besides, this study is to help the advisors of ELS to know the suitability and the effectiveness of ELS activities in improving trainee teachers' speaking skills if the trainee teachers show negative perception towards ELS activities, it means that they need to improve and adapt the activities. But if the results are positive and good enough, it shows that ELS have to be maintained and upgraded as it is beneficial to the English language learners. Next, we go to the related past research. First, Malviza, Bahari and Ardiana 2017 found that most of the students at Sekolah Menengah Agama 3 Bandar Aceh agreed that English club activities support them in practicing speaking. The activities done by the English club are debate contests, speech and also storytelling. The research methods for this research are through survey and interviews, and based on the findings, most of the students expressed that they are glad to join English club as they experiences lots of new things and also interesting activities. Another past research, Sapti and Wati 2019 reported that English Language Society activities help students to be more confident in having conversation in English. The English Club at the private high school in Yogyakarta carried out many themes in every of their meetings, such as public speaking performance and a 1-minute vlog. Next past research was by Yuandi Sari and Kusrandi 2015 conducted a speaking test among the English club members, and in the speaking test they find out the respondents' ability and they also distributed questionnaires to the respondents. The title of this research is Students' Perceptions on English Club Extracurricular in Speaking Practice at Madrasah. There were 7.70% students with excellent score and 15.58% students with very good score. This proven the effectiveness of English Club in improving their speaking ability. Last one was the research on dramatization and roleplay in ELS activity. Dramatization and roleplay aims to promote English language learning activities in improving students' ability in speaking by Adi Pranata 2009. And the researcher distributed questionnaires. They also conducted interviews and observations of the purpose to answer the research questions. From the interviews and observations, the researcher found out that the quality of the roleplay and dramatization was good. And as for the questionnaires, almost all of the respondents, which is 98.1%, they elected strongly agree and agree, and they considered roleplay and dramatization as an interesting activities to be implemented. This research is carried out in a survey. It is capable of obtaining information from large samples of the population, and according to Evidian 2014, survey can be in knowing the respondents' attitude, behaviors, opinions and perceptions systematically, and it can be conveyed through numerical forms by Selveder 2016. The population of this study consists of 98 TESOL trainee teachers, which are the students of PSMP June 2018 intake from IPGKDRI. And as per the samples, there are 83 TESOL trainee teachers, June intake 2018 in IPGKDRI. And the number of the sample is determined by Craigie and Morgan 1970. They are also chosen randomly using the convenience sampling method, which is a non-probability sampling that includes samples accessible by the researchers. It is included the samples of viability at a given time or the willingness to participate by Etikan, Musa and also Al-Qasim 2016. Instruments used for data collection is questionnaire. There are 40 questions altogether with 3 main sections, which are Section A for demography, Section B focuses on the IPGKDRI Trainee teachers' perceptions toward ELS activities, and Section C for the improvisation of trainee teachers in their speaking skills due to ELS activities. The questionnaires was adapted by using the students' perceptions on the use of role-play techniques in speaking class by Maria 2009. And the pilot study had been conducted to test the reliability of the questionnaire, and the alpha Cronbach value for the test is 0.920. As for the research procedures, the first thing to do is having an issue to study. So based on this research, the study is English language learners or trainee teachers find it is difficult to express themselves in spoken language due to shyness, anxiety and lack of motivation. And then the researcher need to write research proposals, and they also need to analyze and state the background of the study. They also need to develop research objective, research questions, as well as choosing the respondents for the study. So once the samples are chosen, the researcher need to get permission from institution and conduct preliminary study, which is the pilot test. It is to know the validity and reliability of the instruments before they collecting the data from the respondents. So once they collect the data, they can analyze it using the SPSS descriptively and inferentially based on mean, standard deviation, and also the correlation. And research report need to be written before the researcher start to present their findings of the study. Next, there are three main procedures for data collection. In conducting the survey, the researcher is required to obtain the permission from the institution to conduct a survey. Then, the respondents are given short briefing regarding the study. They need to know the background of the study, the objective, purposes, and also the significance. And they're also being given clear instructions on how to answer the instrument. And the researcher distribute the questionnaires through the WhatsApp, and they are required to submit their answers by that day, and the researcher thank the respondents for their time, cooperation, and also participation to answer the survey. As for the data analysis, the statistical package for social sciences SPSS version 26 is used. So before the actual research is conducted, the normality test and also the reliability test is conducted first. And then when the data for the research is collected, the raw data can be turned into a suitable form in order to ease the process of interpreting the data descriptively to get the mean and also the standard deviation using SPSS. And the data is also being analyzed inferentially using the correlation analysis and also the independent sample t-test. So the correlation analysis is used to know if there is any significant correlation between two variables, and the t-test is used to know if there is any difference between the genders. This is the conceptual framework for the study. In the conceptual framework, the researcher uses the input, process, and output IPO format. So the input is the sources of the study, which is the respondents of the study are teacher trainees from IPGKDRI. Then in the process, it includes the planning and also the execution of the study, which are the distribution of the questionnaires that asking the teacher trainees on their perceptions toward ELS activities, which are the dramatization, debate, speaker's corner, and also the role play. So the output stage is to know whether there is improvisation in teacher trainee speaking skills due to ELS activities. Next, we go to data findings. As for the research question 1, the mean is 4.154 and the standard deviation is 0.652. And according to Jamil Ahmad 2002, the interpretation of mean score are as follows. For low, it is for mean range from 1.00 to 2.33. As for moderate, 2.34 to 3.66, and for high mean score it is from 3.67 to 5.00. So therefore for the mean of research question 1, it is considered as high. And next, for research question 2, the mean is high also because it is 4.369 and the standard deviation is 0.596. And as for the research question 3, in identifying if there is any difference between the male and female, the independent sample t-test is used, and the results of the significant values P is 0.93, which is higher than 0.05. According to Muhammad Yusri 2010, the p-value is larger than 0.05. Therefore, it shows that there is no significant difference between the variables. So HO1 is rejected, indicating there is no significant difference between male and female trainee teachers' perceptions towards ELS activities. And lastly, for RQ4, the correlation value is 0.895 with P 0.000 and smaller than 0.005. So it is mentioned by Fawad Latif 2020. If the correlation value is in the range of 1 to -1, it indicates that the variables are correlated. Therefore, HO2 is accepted, indicating there is significant correlation between the two variables. There are two main discussions for this study. The first one is the perception of IPGKDRI trainee teachers toward ELS activities in improving their speaking skills. So based on the findings, it is proven that trainee teachers' perception on ELS activities are positive. Besides, ELS activities do help the trainee teachers in improving their speaking skills and performances through debate, dramatization, role play, and also speaker's corner. Next, administrators and advisors of ELS need to always encourage the trainee teachers to join ELS activities, as this study revealed the importance and effectiveness of ELS activities in improving teacher trainees' speaking skills. Besides, they also need to enhance the participation of the trainee teachers in debate activities. The conclusion of this study are there is no significant difference between the male and female trainee teachers' perceptions toward ELS activities. However, the result shows that there is a significant correlation between the perceptions of ELS activities and the improvisation of trainee teachers' speaking skills. And last one is the speaking skills of IPGKDRI trainee teachers has been improved by joining ELS activities, and most of the respondents elected strongly agree with the ELS activities is essential to improve my speaking skills questions. And through ELS activities, I can be more active to speak. So this shows that most of them are really glad and really know that ELS activities has improved their speaking ability and also performances. There are 4 recommendations for this study. One of them is to conduct the research to a larger sample. The reasoning for this is a larger sample may be able to give more variable and varied data. For instance, the researcher may administer the survey to the other trainee teachers in IPGKDRI. And next, the future researcher need to consider other variables in identifying the teacher trainees' perceptions. So the researcher can ask for trainee teachers' suggestions or ask for their activities preferences to be implemented in ELS activities. And then the future researcher need to conduct more debate activities, because based on the questions, I am interested in the implementation of debate activities. There are only 23 of them who elected strongly agree, and it shows that most of the trainee teachers think that debate is their least favorite activities in ELS. Lastly, it is also hoped that this study can be used as an additional reference by other researchers or the other institutions that do not have ELS yet, and other researchers need to conduct more research on ELS, because up until now there are not many research regarding ELS. The implication of the study are advisors of ELS has to plan various strategies and initiatives to encourage the speaking practices among the English trainee teachers, such as conducting storytelling competition, interview pop, and 30-second speech. Besides, the administrator, ELS activities, and also English department should enforce the implementation of debate in ELS activities to suit 21st century learning. Educators should have good ability in arguing and giving out their personal opinions and perspective. Therefore, it is important for the administrators and also the advisors of ELS to be more innovative in improving trainee teachers' abilities and knowledge in practicing debate. And lastly, educational institution has to help the trainee teachers in improving their speaking skills throughout the implementation of ELS activities. I guess that's all for my presentation on this study. Thank you for your time and attention.